Welcome to the virtual reality interview series. I'm Nikia Whitaker Woody, your event coordinator of the. Nope. Welcome to the virtual reality interview series. I'm Nikia Whitaker Woody, event coordinator and founder of the VA World Conference and the VA World Empowerment Circle. The virtual reality interview series is where we come together not just to tell tales or spin the narrative, but to share our realities, the highs, the lows, and the resilience it takes to keep going in our entrepreneurship journey. So, without further ado and great anticipation, let's pave the way for this conversation. Let's do it again. Welcome to the virtual reality interview series. I'm Nikia Whitaker Woody, the founder and event coordinator for the VA World Conference and VA World Empowerment Circle. The VA World interview. That's so what. Welcome to the virtual reality interview series. My name is Nikia Whitaker Woody. I am the founder and event coordinator of the VA World Conference and the VA World Empowerment Circle. I did that wrong. Welcome to the virtual reality interview series. My name is Nikia Whitaker Woody. I am the founder and event coordinator for the VA World Conference and the VA World Empowerment Circle and community. The virtual reality interview series is where we come together not just to tell the tales and spin the narrative and make it all look good, but to share the realities, the highs, the lows, and the resilience it takes to keep going in this entrepreneurship journey. So, without further ado, and with great anticipation, let's pave the way for this conversation. Hello, everyone, and we are back with our next episode. And our enterprising visionary today is Monica Pineda.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Did good, y'all. I did good. Monica is a lover of people, sprinkling love and kindness as she moves through life. Oh, that's super cute because she is. She spent 12 years dedicated to the healing process of people in all stages and ages of life, venturing off to attend therapy herself for her inner work she too needed. Don't we all? In both experiences and as a therapist and as a client, she listened deeply to the cries for support in the world. Lord Jesus, we have those. With the belief that mental health is as normal and daily as physical health, the concept of mental health workouts was born. Monica is the founder of Avant Hub, helping people practice mental and emotional wellness through their experiences in workout mode. So, welcome, Monica.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It is
I,
a pleasure and a joy.
I loved you from the beginning, girl. So Monica and I were both on the Blocks season 13 reality competition show. And she was in one of my pods. And I love anything mental health related because we are going to break the stigma. And tomorrow is World Bipolar Day. So, all the things. And so her business really stuck out to me. And I thought of so many ways that I could help other people with it. So I wanted to have her on so she could give her own little spin to it. So tell me about Events Hub.
Yeah. So Avance Hub is, you can pronounce it anyway. Just to start off and give a little background on the name. Um, my mom named me and my siblings in a way that anybody could really just pronounce it, Monica or Monica. And so I say my name in all kinds of ways, and thought how cool if somebody somewhere else would say Avance or Avance or Avance or Avance or however. And so just a quick little tidbit on that. Um, but yeah, Avance was born to just help people everywhere be able to start to practice mental and emotional well-being in a way that is just normal, that is just, it's already with us every day, right? Our feelings and our thoughts, and to whatever degree it's at,
Mm-hmm.
that we could just get support without it having to be so hard or removing a lot of like the labels and the challenges that can sometimes make it hard for us to come in and do the work.
Yes, love that. Anybody who knows me knows that I am very vocal about getting an appointment. It took me 6 months one time. It took me a year one time. I've had to fire a couple. So it takes a long
Yeah.
time to find that match, and that is a barrier for most people. So I love your idea of it being with minimal effort and no labels. So I love that. Um, okay. I think I know this. But are you an introvert or extrovert?
Oh, well, I'm curious to hear what you think of this.
I
So,
think
uh,
you're an introvert because when we were doing the pods, you were like, all quiet. And so you got to talk about your business because, of course, we love our businesses. But you were all quiet. And even when we had the rap session at the little bar, you were still all quiet until I had to get you stood up.
I like that. So I took a test because I took a test and I'm like 96% introvert, and then there's like a 4% extrovert in there somewhere that I think sometimes might pop out.
Mhm.
Um, And I don't know if you would have like, you just asking me, I feel like I would probably say both just
Mhm.
because it depends on my, like, my comfort level and my ease where I can just be more silly and myself versus, a little bit more timid and shy, like, "Hold up, I don't know. Can I
Yeah.
come out now?"
Yes, that is true. Whatever the situation, it depends. If I'm with my family, I'm definitely an extrovert because in my family, if you're not loud, you don't get heard. But if I'm like at a networking thing, I'm really an introvert. It takes some effort, maybe a drink
Yeah.
or two for me to be like, I'm gonna walk up to you and be like, hey, how you doing? That type of thing. So yes, definitely introverted, but I have my moments. Definitely. So,
Oh, it's funny.
what is your biggest business pet peeve?
Mm, biggest business pet peeve. Um I think it
It could
would
be
be when we
professional or entrepreneurial.
yeah, so I think it's whenever we focus on business. Kinda like, I don't that's,
Mhm,
might sound a little funny to say it that way, but, focusing on the business aspect or when we are so technical with
mhm,
things, it loses that just, like, humanness of why we're doing it, of the
mhm.
actual thing that we're delivering or doing, when we
Right,
kinda just focus on, the technical things
right.
about the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we don't get to interject our vision and excitement for it, we like literally have to be
Yeah.
like, well, this is what you get, and this is how much it costs. This is what I need.
Yeah. Versus,
Gotcha.
like, the actual outcome and what people experience and how it actually, makes a difference for somebody.
Yay, she took the kids outside. Anyway, my window's right here. So my
Okay.
biggest pet peeve in my industry, not my business, but it affects my business, is when people are unfairly saying what admin is. So being that I'm an
Mm,
administrative professional and my business is a virtual assistant as well as event planning for my conference brand, a lot of people are like, "You charge what?" Oh, I could just do that myself. I don't think that people give administrative work and tasks and duties. It's just diligence because the reason you don't want to do it is because it's going to be the last thing you do. It's going to be when you're tired. You don't really know how to do it right. So
right, right.
why is it you're always complaining about admin, but you don't want
Mhm,
to pay for it? So that is my biggest
mhm, mhm,
peeve. This is
mhm,
like, I'm good
mhm.
at it. I can get it done in less time than you can get it in. I can make it more efficient, all the things. And yet you're like, I don't want to pay for that. I can do it myself.
Oh, yeah.
So that is my
I feel like
biggest.
that's yeah.
Okay. So are you bootstrapping?
I am bootstrapping. I am
I'm bootstrapping as
bootstrapped.
well. I am bootstrapping as well. So how
Yes,
do
you are?
you? Yes,
I
I
feel
have
suddenly,
always
like,
bootstrapped.
I feel understood right now.
Yes,
Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you were also bootstrapped. I just
yes.
feel like yeah, yeah.
I am bootstrapping. I started Kiss in 2018. It's been profitable for the last 3 years. So yeah.
That's
And I
amazing.
started
Congrats.
the Year World Conference in 2020, and it has not been
Wow.
profitable yet. But
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about profits because it's gonna, the event section is gonna be for profit, but the community section is gonna be nonprofit. And so I only want to break even because I'm blessed. I have a great full-time job. I have my other business going on. So I want to be that resource
Yeah.
for new entrepreneurs who are cautious about spending or can't afford to spend. So
I love that.
so I'm not worried about that one. And we get grants all the time. So
I
that
love that.
helps spur the
Yes.
movement. So
I
how
love
are
that.
you planning for scalability?
Yeah. So the workouts themselves are actually part of our model is to have it online for a couple of reasons. One, just feasibility. Anybody can jump in
Mhm.
online from wherever they're at, right? Anywhere in the world. And eventually the goal is that, that is available in other languages
Mhm.
and they can do that. But that also means that it can be anonymous and people can just
Mm.
participate, reap the benefits, and not necessarily, um, have to commit so much
Mhm.
that just, sometimes we don't want to, but we still need that
Yeah.
support. And so, um, yeah, but you asked about scalability. So it being online just allows us to keep the structure of what we're doing
Mhm.
and just, yep, keep growing and adding
Yes.
people to workouts.
Mhm.
Yep,
I love
yep,
that
with
because you
yep.
implemented what you learned. Because at first you were like, I'm going to get the space and I'm going to do all the things. And I
Oh,
was
I
like,
know. Oh, that's good. Yeah. So can I just say, um, I was so glad to have just felt so lucky to be like, "Oh, I get to go on the blocks." And in my, period of time right now as a startup, it was for me a lot of brainstorming of like, "Hold on, I've got what I think should happen with Avance, but that's like what we think versus what does the business need?
right.
What does,
Yeah.
the people need out of the workouts?" And so a lot of that came out of the blocks too,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I had never done my customer success journey. So that was the
Really?
one that was like the most
Oh,
hardest for me because when I started my conference, I had a network of 700 people in my group. So I
wow.
didn't have a customer success because they were just going to go. So that was
Yeah.
something when I pivoted, I never thought of. So it was like, oh my God, I got
Wow.
to think of this. So that was like my most revelation in our assignments because I was like, I don't know.
Oh, man. I had so fun. Oh, it was like a reality check of like, "Oh, wait, what comes next? Oh, wait,
Mhm.
there's a" is it called a bottleneck? I think that's the
Mhm.
word. I
Yeah.
think that's the phrase we use, right? When it's just like
Mhm.
something's broken right there, something's
Yeah.
not working.
Mhm. Yeah.
That yeah,
Yeah. I
that
love
brought up a
the
lot of
experience. Love the experience. But I loved
yeah.
how you were like, oh my God, I don't need a building. It's like,
Yeah! Oh my goodness. It was like, we don't well, and then it was interesting because it was like, "All right, we don't have to," and then it was almost a question of, would people even want that?
right.
And maybe that's still a question to later
Right.
on
Because the
see.
anonymity, because they
Mhm.
don't want to be labeled, oh, I saw her coming out that building.
Yep. Or just something about, maybe it's maybe if the build out were a little
Mhm.
different
Yeah.
or, that structure might be a little it could still be worked out, but maybe it would be different. It would have a
Yeah.
different purpose
Yeah.
or yeah.
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 Definitely. Definitely. And that may be the actual gym features you were thinking, maybe more
Mhm.
cozy, like the library or,
Yes,
like a little nook where, everybody like
totally.
Panera or a Barnes and Noble.
Yep.
And they just
Yep.
have their little
Yeah.
section.
Yeah. I think it started there was a moment, with one of the coaches in one of the pods that I realized that the physical location I have in mind is a separate business.
Mhm.
It's not with the mental health workouts. It's very similar, but it's separate. It's a whole other thing.
Yes. It is so awesome when we get so inspired that our stuff starts multiplying. Like so inspiring. Like I literally started my business as a side hustle because I was bored. My kids were
Wow.
graduating high school and I
Oh
loved
my
my job. So I
gosh.
started that. But then I created a Facebook group. I had a podcast. I did all these things. And then I was like, okay, I want an event. So then I did an event and grew another community. So it's like, oh my God, it is like all
Wow.
the things. So love that.
I get inspired every time I hear you talk about what you've been building and doing and the vision you continue to have. And it's just,
Yeah.
it inspires me.
It's so exciting to see your because like I am a very creative person and I think my mental health causes that. But like I can see it before it's done. And so like I am always like 500 miles ahead. And so like my
Oh, I love
team
that.
that volunteers with me to support me, they'd be like, well, Nikia, we can't do that yet because we still on this part. And I'm like, but no, I thought it didn't. They're like, we need to come back here. So I have to learn to tame my excitement because like literally every night we came back, I was doing something. And they were like, well, what's this change? And when this happened? At home? And then we had our meeting and they was like, look, you was changing things while you was gone and we need to slow this down. We are concentrating on this right now. So yeah,
That's awesome, though.
it's
I love
awesome
that.
to have the vision, but you also need people, like he said, to be in your ego's way because you're just going for it.
Absolutely. It's like the checks and balances. Somebody
Yes.
slowing you down to say, wait a minute, what
Yeah.
are the actual practical steps to get over there?
Yes, because I have no formal business training. I literally have been an administrative professional the whole time. I've only had 3 jobs. So like definitely don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun doing it.
Oh, oh, you're like learning fast, flying fast.
Yes. And it's fun. I'm having a good time. Like everybody's like,
That's
how
so
do you
neat.
get all those things done? The board says it. The board
Yeah,
says it.
I have something very similar. I don't have them up right now, but like
Mhm.
normally I've got all these different sheets and whiteboards and stuff to just like write it. I have to see it outside of me. I
Yes.
can't just like I
Mhm.
have to see it.
Mhm. Yes, my team likes for me to do brain dumps in Google Drive.
Oh
Because when I was
yeah.
doing it in our project manager, Asana, they were getting 5 million notifications. So they were like, put it in there and just send us a link.
I
So
also
that
do
works better because I am
yeah.
thinking all the time.
I create a Slack channel every time I have a different. I'm like, that's not in any of those categories. I'm just gonna make another channel.
Okay, that's a good way to do it too. But yeah, I just dump it in Google Drive. I have folders, I have tabs, I have shared drives. I literally,
Yeah.
I'm a fan. So,
Oh, I
what
love
is
that.
it that you feel is the most important skill or quality
Mm.
that an entrepreneur should have?
I feel like it's grit.
Ooh.
I feel I do. I feel like you have to hone it or practice it or something to strengthen it or whatnot.
Mhm.
Because something has to drive you. Something has to continue. There's so many like roadblocks and
Mhm.
obstacles and twists and turns that you're like, wait a minute, what? Like you just got stopped or shooked or something. And it's like you have to just also keep going,
Mhm.
keep finding like the
Definitely.
next thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I feel like there's some grit, and I don't know what other, words or whatnot would go along with grit, like resilience, like just
Definitely resilience. My first
yeah.
car's license plate, my first car's license plate was persist because
Oof.
I am
Yes.
persistent. I've always
Yes.
been an overachiever. I've always done anything I wanted to do. I've just been so blessed and supported to be able to do those things.
Mm.
And so, like, first year of college, December, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, oh crap. And so I go home and my grandma's like, what's wrong with you? And I tell her, and she was like, and like, what you gonna do? And I gave her the plan. I'm like, I'm gonna have this baby in September. I'm going to school in January. And she was like, all right. And she went on about her day. And so I was like, oh, is that that easy? I
Yeah.
mean, I had already graduated high school, so I mean, it was easy, but just to be
Yeah.
put at ease that that wasn't a deterrent. And so it
Right.
was always, single parent at 19, single parent at 26. Didn't get married until I
Oh.
was 39. All the things that I had to do. It never dawned on me because I wasn't taught that you can't just keep doing what you want to do. Just do it. Figure out a
Mm.
plan and do it. And so that's
Mhm.
been
Mhm.
my path the whole time. I wanted this. And so I did it. I
You
bootstrapped
did
it
it.
to where I got it to where it could be. You
Yeah.
know, I've just done what I wanted. I'm having a good time at it and it's working for me.
That's where it's at with working for you and just going after it. I
Yeah.
remember like 5 years ago. So I recently found a journal I had, and I had written down the name Avance 5 years ago in that journal. Yeah, I know. I didn't remember that I had already come up with that name before. So I guess when I came up with it now, it was already like in there, right? It was like subconsciously, it was like, I've heard this name before.
Mhm.
But um it's been a process. It's been a process. Like I just founded Avance in November of 2023, right? A couple of months ago here. And so to think back, like the the persistence to just
Mhm.
keep at that idea,
Mhm.
like just pitching it to the blocks in
Mhm.
September, I think was when, or August or September was
Yeah.
when I
Mine's was
had
awesome.
sent my video in. Yeah, yours was August. Like that was what kicked off, like, "Oh, I should probably do the thing that's been in my head for a while," right? That's not out there. It's
Yeah.
not out there, like,
Mhm.
for you to go forth and take all the steps and do all the things to make stuff happen.
Yeah.
It takes a
It
lot.
does, because I mean,
It takes a
when you
lot.
get those hits of, you got to fire a client, or it's not working right, and you got to repivot, all those things come into play, and you got to be like, yeah, I still got it. We can do this. We just got to do it another way.
Yeah.
So, love the pivot. Love the pivot. Got to do that. Okay. So, you told us in your bio what motivated you, but with Avante, now being a reality, how has it
I
shaped
know.
your life? Like, how is it reshaping your life?
So I feel like personally in my life, I feel like it's actually making me live out my own like mental and emotional journey in the healthiest way. And
Cool.
then just in general, like the flow that I live too, because like you can't offer mental health workouts and like not hear yourself and be like, "Hey, we gotta, live life a certain way."
Yes.
And so I feel like it just I'm constantly working that out, or I'm practicing. I do it. I live and embody Avance and workouts and just constantly checking back in with myself, constantly listening to like, wait, what's my intuition saying? What do I really need and want?
Yes.
And so the more that I do that, it double strengthens
Mm.
both the work that I do in Avance and then like me, that I'm
Yeah.
living it, that I'm like doing it too.
Yeah. It helps you fine tune it because it's working for you, but it might not
Yeah.
work for everyone. But then you have the vision of
Mm-hmm.
the options you could provide. So yeah,
Oh my
definitely love that.
gosh.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
I think it's when I was diagnosed, I wasn't diagnosed until I was 30. And so when I was diagnosed, no one was talking about it. And so my
Mm.
daughter, she was diagnosed at 4. She
Wow.
had oppositional defiance disorder, bipolar, and ADHD. So those were hard. And so I had to make
Yeah.
a decision for one, go on your meds and stay on your meds because I can't tell you to do it and I ain't doing it. So I had to make the decision of, okay, I have to live out loud so she sees it, so she grows into this
Mm.
person who can manage it, advocate, and get the things she needs to
Wow.
do in addition to having a regular
Mhm.
life. So I mean, I just
Mhm.
became that person. And so like
Wow.
everyone knows it. I tell my clients the first time we speak, my job knows it. I went to a neurodivergent ERN the other day meeting, and a lot of people were scared to self declare. And I'm like, why? And it was like, because I'm concerned about how I'll be perceived or if I'd be punished for it, things
Mm.
like that. And I'm like, I tell everybody, I don't even care. It's a
Mm.
part of me. It does not
Mhm.
define me. I am
Mhm.
awesome. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
my superpower
Mhm.
and sometimes it's my kryptonite, but for the most part, I am
Yep.
awesome. So I think that, being able to just
Ah,
live out loud is awesome. And
I
taking
love
what
it.
we have and helping to include it, don't
Mhm.
exclude it, helping include.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, I love you sharing that because I've had so it was interesting. I didn't have a name to it,
Mhm.
but I started pulling my eyelashes and my
Mm,
eyebrows out when I was like 13, 14, 15 years old.
mhm,
I was a teenager, right? But back then, I didn't know.
mhm,
My family didn't know, right? And so like never got helped, right? Went, became a therapist, helped other people, started going to therapy. Even the first 6 months of therapy, I couldn't speak, first of all. That's a whole other story. Like I couldn't even verbally get words out. Yeah, I was like, what? Everyone made it look so easy. But like then I got in the door and couldn't like
mhm, mhm,
that took a while. It took me a year before I actually told my therapist that and I knew that trichotillomania was like the label behind it, the behavior, right? But it took a year, even when I was seeing a therapist,
mm.
to disclose to her
Yes.
that I did this, that this was a problem, right? That me
Yes.
like, when I was stressed out or whatnot would just do that.
Mhm.
And that was even as somebody who is therapist, right? Like, so we can only imagine how hard is it to just say
Right.
something
Yeah.
that we're dealing with if it has a name or
Mhm.
and I don't even like labels because now I've gotten to the point where like right that where it's just like okay it's a thing but like it's not like who I am
Right.
it's not
Yeah.
and it's something that, like, in my case, like, I have to work on it every day. That's why
Mhm.
we do more to hot workouts. Like, I have to work on that every day so it doesn't overpower my life or become a thing I do all
Mhm.
the, you know, it
Yeah.
doesn't affect it.
Definitely understand that. I mean, just teaching her to advocate for herself, was very
Mm,
important.
mm.
I fired doctors. I told doctors, no, that's not what we're doing. When she got to a certain age, she said, I don't want to take meds no more. And I supported her in that.
Oh,
And she said it. She told the doctor. And
wow.
she figured out a way where she would have the doctor manage her mood, but she didn't have to take
Oh,
medicine. And so if she needed
wow.
the emergency response, it was available, but
Mm.
she didn't need it. And
Oh,
has been off meds since she was 13 and she's 22.
wow.
So, and we've had no issues.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
that modeling and just being her advocate so that she could learn to do it for herself is what it was all about. And I am super proud of it.
That's that's so powerful because she literally just
Mhm,
she owned
mhm.
whatever it was gonna look like for her,
Yes. And you
tested
have to do
things
that. You have to do
out.
that. You have
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I did
Because
a
no
post the
nobody
other
else
day. I did a post the other day
uh-huh.
because that influencer, she died. Because her doctor told her she had fibroids and she literally had cancer. And I just literally lost 50 pounds because my doctor had me on a med, and I had to literally say, I'm not taking this no more. It's put on too much weight. I don't want it.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to
Yeah,
advocate for myself, and I'm trying to get people to realize a doctor is your partner. They have book smarts. You can get book smarts if you want, but they have book smarts. They don't have the smarts on what you are and who you are. So they can give you some advice,
absolutely.
but they can't tell you everything. And I mean, I fire doctors.
Absolutely.
I fire doctors all the time.
Yeah.
I literally interview a
Yeah.
doctor. My first visit is an interview. If you can't take my
Yeah.
opinion, if you can't listen to me, if we can't work together to fix me, I don't need you.
Right. I think that's so it's just so powerful because nobody knows you and your life like yourself. And one of the hardest things for any of us is to actually know ourselves. So even when we do go and like talk to a doctor, sometimes like I don't even have the story straight. I'm like, wait a minute, is that what happened? Or like, wait, what was I feeling? You know, how many
Mhm.
times has that
Yes.
really happened? And then I start to do like a check of like, wait, but how have I been sleeping the last
Mhm.
5 days?
Yeah.
Like I don't sometimes I don't even remember what I ate yesterday,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So, like, just us knowing ourselves,
Mhm.
regardless of, anybody else, like professionals and other
Yeah.
people and guidance or
Mhm.
advice or anything else that's out there,
Right.
just knowing yourself
Yes.
is like the game changer
It
before
is. It is. And I
anybody
mean,
else coming into the picture.
yeah, that is one of the main things I try to highlight in my brand is, yes, I have these things, but I do all these things too. So I mean, my doctor does not like that I drink, but I don't drink to excess, and that's me. That's not
Right,
everybody. That's me.
right,
I try
right.
to model that. Yes, I have all these things going on. Like right now, I've had a respiratory infection since December, but I'm working it out. You see me going to the doctor, you see all the
Mm,
things. So, I mean, I
mm-hmm,
think it just,
mm-hmm,
sometimes people just need to see it so they could be like, maybe I
mm-hmm.
could try that. So
Yeah,
that's what I try to do.
I love that. I love that. One of the things, what so there's several like underlying approaches
Mm-hmm.
in the mental health work that we do, but
Mm-hmm.
one of them is just having the flexibility with yourself in like what things work for you.
Mm-hmm.
And most of us sometimes try something, but a lot of us don't try anything, or we try one thing and it doesn't work. We try two and it doesn't work. And then it's just kind of like, dang, well, nothing works.
Mm-hmm.
But if you keep doing that and you just keep kind of like what we learned at the blogs too, right? You just like keep experimenting, like what
Mm-hmm.
works, what works, what works.
It works.
Like do a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And eventually you're like, oh, I liked that. That really helped me, or
Yeah.
that didn't. Now I ruled some stuff out. I know what worked today, but that might be different from tomorrow.
Yes,
Just like
and
the
I love that
flexibility.
too. Love that too because I teach a class on time management because everybody's always asking me like, how do you get all those things done? So I teach a class on time management, and for me, time blocking works. So like literally, my
Mhm.
calendar has tasks, and tasks do not go away until I say they're completed. Where and then I
Oh,
have blocks on my calendar, which they'll go away as
yeah.
soon as I swipe. You know, so I literally have get up and take a break, go eat lunch,
Mm.
get up and take another break. Did you check your emails? Did you take out dinner? Did you feed the cat? Did you brush your teeth? You know, all those things that in my mind I
Yeah.
am doing, but I really forgot. You know, so I have to add those
Yeah.
things in. So time blocking works for me because Alexa tells me, my phone tells me, my watch tells me, and then the computer pops up. So there are constant reminders that get in
Yeah.
between that hyperactivity that I have and that
Mhm.
hyper focus that I have. Because I will literally sit here and look at my computer all day. But Alexa tells me, you know, so all the things are doing what they do to keep me in place. But I do know some people don't like that. They want the Pomodoro technique where an alarm goes off every 40 minutes. I don't want that because all I'm gonna do is
You
then
don't want that.
I'm gonna turn it
See,
off and then
see,
I'm not being effective.
see what I love with that right there is that everybody's different. Everyone is so different. So what you think like, oh, well, that works for that person, but that doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Or that works for all of them, but that doesn't,
Yeah.
like that amazes me always where it's like there's great stuff out there, but like keep trying out and figuring out what is it that's best for you.
Yes,
And
that was a
like
conversation
I
I had
switch it up.
yesterday. Yes, because entrepreneurship is subjective. You can't look
Yeah.
at her journey and be like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Or I should be there. Like,
No.
why am I not rich yet? You
Mm.
know, and you're not rich yet because it ain't your time. You haven't worked it. It's not there yet. You know, that
Yeah.
opportunity has not hopped off. You know, so
Yeah.
you know, we have to always remind ourselves that it is our journey. And I don't
Mhm.
care if your friend is over there saying, why you ain't got no money, girl? I thought we was going out.
Yeah.
I have to
Right.
work and I'll hit you.
Uh,
You know,
yep,
because a
yep,
lot of people be
yep.
like that, or they misinterpret the you got a business. Well, cuz can
Oh,
I
yeah.
$10? No, got to know.
Yeah.
You got a whole business.
No.
I see you in this place, in this
No.
place, in this place. And yeah,
Right.
but I had to pay to get to those places.
Yeah.
I got no money. You know,
Yeah.
so it's subjective because everybody's gonna see what they want to see, and you know the real truth.
Oh, that just reminds me, it's like you have to stay strong in who you are, where you're at, what you're doing. Yes. And like, and limit what other people believe versus what you know to be true about you. Not just like in business and entrepreneurship, but
In
even like
life.
in just relationships. Yup. Where you're like, oh, so and so thinks this. And so, like, you have to just stay grounded and like, everyone can think what they want in their minds and their bodies. But like in my
Mhm.
body and in my mind, like, this is what I believe and know about me for
Yeah,
what I'm doing.
yeah, especially when you're bootstrapping, especially when you're bootstrapping.
Yeah.
Because like
Oh,
I have
yeah.
3 trips on the board, and it's like, how you getting there? You know, but I know, you know, I'm road tripping to Philadelphia, and I already bought my plane ticket to Colorado. You know, I'm just working on one more. You know, so like it's
Yeah,
on my whole year is on the board, and
I love
I
that.
am literally crossing them off.
I
If I
love
get an
that.
influx of money, or if I get a new client, or if I cancel something, then I can do this. So
Yeah.
planning is paramount for me anyway. Planning is
Oh,
paramount.
I agree. I
Because I
agree.
mean, what if I get a
No,
raise? Or
I
what if I
totally.
lose a client? Or what if I get a new
Right.
job? All those
Yeah.
things play into my day.
They're moving pieces. I always feel like we're playing a game in entrepreneurship. It's literally a game where you're like, what's moving where? Oh, that one fell. Wait, let me pick it up. Let me move this one over here. Like you're
Yes.
constantly just like, what's going where?
Yeah, I had that issue recently in that I had trips planned in April and May. My daughter got pregnant. So now I had to move things around because it's like, okay, she needs me to be here. And I have a baby shower to plan in
Yeah.
August. And I was
Oh,
already
wow.
giving my
Yeah.
other daughter a 30th birthday party in September. And then I have a trip in
Wow.
October and a trip in November. So it's like, okay, we got to move things around. And I need to calm
So
down
many
on my travel.
celebrations.
Got to
Yeah.
calm down on my travel because she might need me here once the baby
Right.
comes. So,
Right.
Miami might have to wait till next year,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
we got to be able to move things.
Yeah.
Got to be able.
Yeah.
Okay,
Love
so
that.
what steps have you taken to build community in your journey?
I like this one a lot, actually. So lately, what I've been doing is just getting out there and meeting people and seeing what they're doing. And what I've noticed is that the community starts to just happen. The spaces where others are either on like same missions, whether it's mental health related or not, but it starts to just have its own little like entrepreneurial vibe and hub in like these different areas, even if they're just like online connections or rooms and whatnot, or if it's in person, or if it's just one person, or it's starting to vary. But I now don't feel so lonely where I'm like, oh, I've got people to reach out to. Blogs, like look at just you and I are here right now, just sharing in spaces,
Mhm.
having this conversation. Like to me, that those are all the different like opportunities, the many opportunities to just build with others, to
Yeah.
share with others. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I literally grew my first Facebook group to
Wow.
over 700 women. On
Oh,
my next Facebook group, and I'm already past 100. We just started, but I have a
it's
wide
amazing.
community, and then too, I took the corporate approach to networking. I volunteer with a networking company. It's a nonprofit, but I volunteer there, so I get to meet people all the time. And
Oh,
then
I love
I go to
that.
conferences. I'm on the advisory board for the Administrative Professionals Conference. So I am
Oh, how
always
cool.
at a conference meeting new people. People love to comment on the hair. So I always put in my post, if you see the pink hair, come and say hi. So
I
just
love
putting
that.
myself in places. I belong to the U.S. Black Chamber. I go to their
Oh,
event.
how cool.
So just putting
Yeah.
yourself in places where just because I'm a
Yep.
virtual professional
Mm-hmm.
or a virtual
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur doesn't mean I don't exist in
Mm-hmm.
real life.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do. So just taking
Yep.
that unusual approach because everyone
Yeah.
in my community is not doing it.
No. So
They're
it's
waiting
it's
to meet
it's
somebody online.
funny. Right, like, so about I think it was 2 weeks ago now, I walked into the local Chandler Chamber of Commerce here around the corner. I just walked in. I was like, "Oh, just here." Like, "Hi." Like, and, luckily, they were able to just, somebody was available and they just greeted me. The next week, I was able to go to one of their events that they were having just to check them out.
Mhm,
Haven't joined yet. I'm hoping
mhm,
I find a sponsor or something as
mhm.
a bootstrapper over here. But it was so neat now just feeling connected and around other local entrepreneurs who are,
Yes.
doing their thing
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
belong to the Virginia Diverse um, Chamber
Mm.
as well as the Central Virginia Black African
Yeah.
American Chamber and the Black
Yeah.
Business Chamber. So just trying to,
Yep.
because when I started, I didn't see myself. But I don't, say I have to
Yeah.
be in a Black group, because I belong to other groups
Right.
as well. But
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
just want to foster the connection because I didn't
Mhm.
see myself. And I've never
Yeah.
been a business owner before, so that way I get to get and experience other people's energy
Yeah.
and knowledge. Plus, too, all the people we met at the blocks, African Americans were at a minimum, but I still enjoyed myself and made lots of
Yeah.
connections and lots of friends.
Yeah.
So, I think
Same,
it takes,
same with Latinas.
yeah,
Yeah, same experience. Yeah,
yeah,
I've looked into the Hispanic Chamber of
mhm,
Commerce, and so I actually saw that it cost a little less to join, and I was like, hey, that's
yeah.
great. Like that's
Yeah, and
awesome.
I'm
Like,
glad you're having a good
make it
experience
easier.
with your chamber because I joined my chamber when I first started and I didn't have a good experience. So I'm not a part
What?
of my city's chamber. I'm a part of the other
Wow.
chambers that are around because
Yeah.
to me they didn't care about me. They didn't show interest in me.
Wow.
They made a post once they made a post when I first joined to say welcome. That was it. So it's like, no,
Mm.
I don't need this. So I mean, it does take
Yeah.
flexibility
Yep.
and finding your tribe. Definitely finding
Yes.
your tribe.
Yes. I
Just don't
think
go somewhere because everybody said do it. Find
no.
your spot.
No, keep moving around, talking to different people, and
Mhm.
yep, and seeing where you feel the most
Mhm.
seen and accepted and supported. Yeah.
So, what was a critical decision that you had to make that you felt like was a turning point?
Mm. Oh, so definitely closing my private practice as a therapist to open Avance. I feel like that was a big deal because
Mhm.
in an industry where I worked so hard to get a license to, you know, provide services in that way, to kind of say, I'm going to do it a different way and not in this traditional way anymore was like a very big turning point. And so I internally had to go through my own little process of
Grieving.
like, yeah, like it's okay. Like we don't have to do things one way forever. Like you can change things up. You can, and eventually I started to realize too that that didn't mean, I'm no longer like a therapist. I'm a therapist. I'm trained. Like that can't leave
Right.
my body. Like
Yes.
that's in here. Like, and so I may not be providing individual therapy,
Mhm.
but what I get to do now, I'm actually, um, I don't think it could have been any more perfect because my playful nature is just
Mhm.
totally looking at mental health and emotional health and being able to do a workout and do it in this way that just feels more intuitive and natural.
That's good. That's good. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Mine was literally not seeing myself and the fact that I was able to do things in my business that I didn't see anyone else doing. So my critical decision was to innovate entrepreneurship for women. I mean, we want to see
Yeah.
ourselves. We want to work together. We don't want it to be
Yes.
competition all the time. Everybody's unique. There is no oversaturation. Everything doesn't have to cost 5 million bucks.
Mm. Mhm,
So
mhm.
that was my okay. I see this, but that's not what everybody else is getting. I'm getting a
Right.
whole different zhuzh. I'm enjoying myself, and everybody else is over here working hard. You gotta love it.
Yeah. Yes. I like that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay. How are you ensuring your individual growth is not being compromised? You got that degree, and now you got this business. What you doing? How you doing?
So one of my Slack chat, you know how I add all these Slack, I
Mhm,
just add another one when I'm like, I don't know. One of my Slack channels, I recently, like a couple weeks ago, after the block,
mhm.
I added this one. It's called um now I forgot. It's called Founder Wellness Longevity. That's what it's called. Yeah, I just like I don't know what I saw or read, but I was just thinking and I wrote it down. I opened a Slack channel. It's called Founder Wellness Longevity. And I figured if I'm gonna last at building Avance, like this is a big task that
Mhm,
I feel really responsible for bringing out to the world.
mhm.
And if I'm going to last, I have to take care. I have to make sure that, like there's a lot of progress to be made every day and week, but like if you're not sleeping or eating or taking care, like you're not gonna You're not going to do all those things. Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
so measuring things. So I track a lot of things, and I'm easy with, sometimes I'm like, okay, I didn't track, whatever. But like I do it often enough that I'm catching if, if I'm okay or if I need something, and then just trying to pinpoint what is it today? What
Yeah.
is it today that's going to make the difference and
Yeah,
make me,
mine is
stronger?
the double brushing. Most people
Mm,
don't know that
double
psychotropic
brushing.
drugs cause you to have dental problems. So like literally at
Oh,
49, I had four cavities. Like never had a cavity in
wow.
life. And my meds are
Wow.
now, because I'm using more meds more now than ever, but literally now I all of
Yeah.
a sudden have cavities. So I had to get four fillings the other day. And so like I said I got four fillings and
Wow.
everybody was like, what you be eating? And I was like, let's check you. It is my meds.
Hold on.
you know, so now
Don't tell me you think you know.
so now the dentist is like, you gotta brush twice a day. So I literally have written on my mirror, brush, so that I remember
Yeah.
to brush twice a
Yes.
day because I am busy
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I have a mental health disorder, and sometimes I'm just
Yeah.
like in and out.
Yeah.
So I have to
Yeah.
remember. So like when I go in my room at
Yeah.
night, it's there. So it's like,
Yeah.
so
It's like,
gotta
do
be
do the
cognizant
thing.
of all the things we have to do and not losing focus on those things because I love my.
Absolutely.
I do not want to be walking around with no busted smile. Nope, nope, nope. I
Oh
think for
man,
me
yeah.
too, it's staying true to my foundation. My
Mm,
grandmother, I grew up in an extended family, and we have an extended family house. Everyone lives here. And so family is always important. I am the family genealogist. I make sure we have all the events and things. So it's always been important for her to make sure that we stayed close. So once a month,
mm,
me and my cousins, we get together and we party. And that keeps me being normal, but it also
mm,
reminds me of who I am in that, my cousins
mhm.
always try to outdrink me. And every month they walking out here sideways, so that connection of I still got it.
Yeah.
you know so that connection and being able to cook for them, I have my grandma's recipes, so I can make us all just go back to childhood, so that is
Oh my
is what
goodness.
continues to make sure I have
Mm,
individual growth because I'm always trying to fix a
mm,
recipe that is grown up but still tastes like
mm,
grandma's, but it's healthy. You know what I'm saying? So
mm.
all those things help me to continue to grow but also keep me grounded in my foundation.
I love that.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I told you I was not going to keep you long. So, as you're
This has been
now
fun.
experienced entrepreneur, what is one thing you would say to someone who is starting or thinking?
Yeah. I would say to prepare yourself first for the journey, to really take the time to sit back and sit with, and like, whether it's journaling, but actually like s- sitting with yourself, processing it, like writing it down, like literally doing a check-in of like, who am I? How am I? And like, how is this journey going to be?
Mhm,
And just start to map it a little. Like,
mhm,
I don't think I did it so consciously, but I would definitely encourage somebody to consciously sit and like ask yourself and look at that, because I started this 5 years ago.
mm.
And oh yeah, oh yeah,
Whoa,
but it looks like I started it in
yes,
November.
in
It
November.
looks like it, yeah, because that's when I found it. But I'm not, I'm the person I am today doing what this
Mm,
is started 5 years ago.
that's great.
And that journey to
Mhm,
be the person today that can handle all the stuff, the
yeah.
grit and those types of things that it takes, like I would have never thought that it would have taken 5 years
Mhm,
personally
mhm.
to be prepared for the journey that I've been going through. But like, so that would be my takeaway is if you're looking to going into an entrepreneurial journey to
Mhm.
really get to know what it's going to take out of you personally, like what it means for you. And it's again, like it's different for everybody. And maybe you've got different types of support systems. Maybe you've got a different career, other things that are helping you out, or you just have like a really good, like your fun weekends and that's what gets you like what however.
Yeah.
But I I don't have a TV. Like I haven't had one for like 6 years or so now. Like there's very key things, yeah, that I just like I started doing different so that
Mhm.
I could just listen in more to me and what I
Mhm.
needed versus like all the outside voices, right? Like in the world
Yeah.
and about what to do next. An
Yes.
entrepreneurial journey is like you got to listen to yourself. You got to
Yeah.
really listen
Yeah.
in to you.
Yes. So I wore this shirt on purpose. And so the shirt says, I want everyone to eat, but I'm no longer fixing plates because I am
Ooh.
so a person who wants to help that I literally was going broke. And so I had to learn that. I am
Yeah.
going through this journey. I am bootstrapping it, and some things have to be different. I
Mhm.
am a giver. Gift giving is my love language. If someone mentions something in casuality, I will literally order it and send it to you. That is my thing because I've always been blessed, and I love seeing people's expression when they get something just for them. I'm not a template. I'm not a cookie cutter. You're gonna get it based on you. And so it sometimes burns me out, and I have to, reconcile with myself that it's okay, you know.
Yeah.
And I know in my business plan, that's another issue for me, is because I give so much that no one puts skin in the game. So now it's like, okay, if I
Mm.
want to be sustainable and I want to grow, I can give you information, but you got to want it and you got to do something with it. So, no, I'm not going to
Yes.
everything. I'm going to give you the framework. And then if I see you moving with it, or if I see you fixing your plate, I might be your extra serving. I might
Yeah.
say, come over
Oh,
to dinner
oh,
and we cook together.
that's so good. That
So
is so
I
good.
feel like we have to give ourselves
Oh,
grace with our already personality because we are going to build a new personality on top of that one. So you
oh my
can't
goodness, yes.
necessarily go into the entrepreneurship saying, I'm going to buy everybody something and
Mhm.
I'm going to give this
No,
away and this away and this away, or it's going to be
no,
free. All those things because like I literally was like that. I was like, okay,
no.
I got this job and this business is
Yeah,
making money and so I'm going to be charity for everyone who wants to be an entrepreneur. And I'm sitting here like, but now I can't sell tickets. So like what happened? So
right.
being able to
Yes.
pivot too, so I went into it like this, but now I'm pivoting. Yes, the event is going to still be paid, but like the community is going to not be. And we are working
Mhm.
on, little low cost efforts for the community. So it becomes sustainable. So we always have to be
Ah,
willing to pivot. And you're right, we have to prepare ourselves for the journey. So how'd you
so
like it?
beautiful. So
It wasn't
beautiful.
too
I
bad, was it?
loved it.
Yeah.
No, I loved it. I loved it. I feel like these opportunities for us to talk and answer some of these questions and think about them, like we don't do them enough. Like it's not something we do every day. We
Mhm.
to answer these and think about them and I feel like every single time it just like I hear some stuff and I'm like, "Oh, like you said things that I was like, that is so true. That's such a good, or I hear myself say something that I'm like, like what that was interesting.
Yes, yes. So thank you for being my guest.
This was
And I
fun.
had a great time, and this will not be the last time we hook up, get together, or whatever, even if we just do drinks
Yes.
online. But I want to tell everyone thank you very much. Monica is on Instagram at
Yes.
underscore Monica Pineda. So that's all one word. And you can follow her company as well at avancehub.co on Instagram. I will also put all of her social handles under the YouTube video and in the caption. But I want to remind everyone who's watching that we are not just talking. We are sharing, growing, and reshaping that narrative on
Mm.
entrepreneurship.
Oof.
So
Oof.
let's continue to shine together. And until next time, I'm Nikia Whitaker Woody, and this was the Virtual Reality Interview Series podcast.